What is up, everybody? Welcome to Theocracy. I am your intrepid host, Theo Snodgrass, comedian and podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wherever you may be, thank you for making me a part of your day. It's a brisk February morning out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's the thing: people roast you for saying that, but you got to understand when it's like 50 degrees in Vegas. That's 70 degrees colder than it was like 4 months ago. You don't understand. And you understand the thing about this city. It's not just that it's hot. There's no shade. There's no trees anywhere. It's just you, the sun, and the fucking sidewalk. And then you're in the middle getting cooked. It's like being in an easy bake oven. You don't understand. So yeah, you know what? 50 degrees feels brisk to me. Anyway, I don't know why that was on my heart. I get up in the morning and I go to the gym first thing usually. And I have an e-bike, which is fucking sick. By the way, I am so glad an e-bike is, to be clear, legally distinct from a moped. Not a moped. It's an e-bike. And I'm glad that e-bikes exist. It's like cross between like a motorcycle and a bicycle. It's like halfway between. And I'm so glad they did that. Because here's the thing: a moped is an unfuckable form of transportation. At some point, I don't know when, the Council of Women just got together and decided we're just like not fucking guys who ride these, right? We all agree? We agree on that? This is just an objectively gay form of transportation. And to use one of these, you are choosing to opt out of the dating pool. You're just like choosing to end your bloodline. So my point is, I'm glad that e-bikes exist. Anyway, so when you're doing that, it's like at 30 miles an hour, like fucking, 50 degrees, wind in your face. That's chilly. It's brisk. You have to put on a jacket. So I had to put on a jacket. It's fine now. It's like 60 or 70 right now. So it's chilling. I like it. No, Vegas is beautiful, man. Let's check in with the chat real quick. Scream Queen Selena's here. What's up, Selena? Friend of the channel. Iron Oxide. Too bad no one told you it would be hot in Vegas. Yeah, I didn't take that seriously. To be fair, I was warned not to move to Vegas and have a car with no air conditioning, and that was like not going to be a chill thing to do. I thought that was going to be fine, personally. I just thought they were exaggerating. But no, the heat out here does not fuck around. One thing I noticed when the weather gets cold in Vegas, people complain about it, but they don't change their clothing at all. They just leave the house in like a tank top and shorts, and they're like, "Ooh, it's chilly out here." And I'm like, "I know, that's why I'm wearing a hat." That's where this sweater came from. You could do that, right? They don't. They don't know how to adapt. They just complain. Anyway, viewer +1, friend of the channel. Thank you for hopping in the kick chat. I assume that's a bot, but you never know. Man, it's great. I was doing some stand-up last night. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm about to go on the road, so I'm very excited. By the way, next stop, the 6th and the 7th, I will be at Chadwick's Comedy Club in Medford, Oregon. So if you are out in Medford, Oregon, please come check me out. It's always a good time. If you're near Medford, Oregon, I hope I have some Medford, Oregon fans, man. I hope so. It's going to be awkward when I get there. Last time I was there, I had a rough set. It's not true. So I went there like a year ago, and first set, crushed it. First night, crushed it. The second night, there was like a mouthy divorced woman in the front row who was drunk and just wouldn't shut up. So I'm 7 minutes into a 30-minute set, and I'm like, "Sweetheart, your husband didn't want you. What makes you think I do?" And she just, oh, fuck, man. I've never had a room turn on me so quick. Dude, I had to spend the next 23 minutes digging myself out of that hole, and she still went and talked shit to me after the show. That was rough. It was not a good night. I have that set on film, by the way. I may publish that someday. Just that might be a Patreon exclusive. Just so you know, it's like not always good. Stand-up is one of the only art forms that requires you to do it like badly sometimes. Like it's just a known thing. It's like, oh, sometimes this is not going to go well. What's crazy about that situation is I was objectively right to do that because she needed to shut the fuck up and she wasn't going to shut the fuck up. And as she got bolder and drunker, 10 minutes in the future, she was going to be ruining the set and she was going to cause everyone in that room to have a bad time. Now, I've done comedy enough that I knew that. And so I was like, oh, I'll stop this problem now. But I didn't think about the optics. Oh, what's up, Arza, friend of the channel? By the way, is this live on Instagram? It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I don't know if there's there's separate Instagram comments. Okay, I did not realize that. Okay. I cannot see that. So just so the live knows, I cannot see the Instagram comments. I have to like check a separate tab. And I did not prepare for that. So yeah, this is the thing. So I guess we're gonna do. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna talk about the Epstein files today because I'm still too mad. Like I'm still too upset, and so I haven't actually like taken the time to like verify stuff. I heard a bunch of things. I got really upset, and then I put it down. So I haven't like gotten back to it and verified it. Apparently, like the Vatican is implicated, which I'm obviously not psyched about. So I have no idea what's going on with that. So I'm going to look at that when I have a little more time. Probably going to go over that on my good buddy Iron Oxide show. Iron Oxide, friend of the channel. He's going to do an Iron cast probably tomorrow. So I'll probably go over that. I wanted to do the Grammys thing because that's like kind of just like cotton candy shit. It's just why here's the thing. I don't understand why we're at a point in society where famous people still care what we think of them or think of their opinions. I don't understand why. It's just like they're the same, like it's like the same brainwash retard. You could get the same brainwash retard take from like a random barista. Like they're not contributing anything to the zeitgeist. These are not like educated people. There's people with like a lot of time on their hands. They have a lot of time on their hands and a lot of people around them telling them how wonderful and important they are. It's just asinine. I don't know. We're going to go over some clips in a second. Let's check in with the chat real quick. Let's see. Celebrities are as dumb as I always thought they were. They are talented at pretending, but any more than that, they are far more talented people. But the only way to get into the club and allowed to be a part of the people working, you have to join the union. But beyond that, you have to be willing to sacrifice your butthole and eat babies. Based? Professor Savage Dad, friend of the channel, offering base day. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that all this like pomp and circumstance is happening like right after the Epstein file release, where we're all starting to wonder, hey, how is it that you actually got here? Do you guys remember when Cat Williams was on Shannon Sharp's show and he was like, yeah, you basically have to like have gay sex and make contracts with the devil and shit, and then they'll give you like a butterface wife and 10 movies or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he said. It was a bunch of wild shit, and he threw out a bunch of people's names, and it's just like, I know at the time people were like, this is wild. Wow, how could this possibly be true? But then things started to happen. Do we owe Alex Jones an apology? I think we owe Alex Jones an apology at the minimum. Like everybody needs to say, I'm sorry to Alex Jones. I guess I am talking about the Epstein files for a little bit. Let's get into the Grammy stuff we're going to do. By the way, let's see. Oh, man. Yeah, finding out Pizzagate was real is fucking wild. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but like the extent to it that's true. But that's what I've heard. And again, we're going to be doing that on another show when I've had time to do some research. I'm going to check in with the Instagram chat real quick. Okay, we got a couple of people over here. Nothing crazy. I got to fuck, it's delayed. Okay, so we got to figure out something with the Instagram chat. Guys, if you're in the Instagram chat, I'm not going to be checking in with you today because it's like way behind. So for some reason, it's not running concurrently with the rest of the show. So it's kind of fucking me up. Oh, I see. Instagram is delayed. That's why. Okay, that is disorienting. We'll figure it out. This is my first time getting Instagram to actually work. So shout out to StreamYard for helping me stream to Instagram. Let's get into this this Billie Eilish speech. By the way, before we get into that, I want to just say, did you guys see fucking Chapel Road's dress with it's just like literally being held on by nipple rings, and I'm like, dude, it's just she's just like naked with like see-through fabric that's being held to her body by nipple rings, and it's like, at what point do we just say that's enough? Like, at what point do you say that's okay? We don't have to. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. You don't have to. She's like, but I want to. And it's like, I prefer you didn't, honestly. Dude. I don't know. At some point. Oh, thank you, Arsa Chats. Have fun at your job. That's fun. Anyway, I can't. So the reason I'm talking about Chapel Road's dress and not showing it is because I can't show it on YouTube. I'll probably get kicked because it looks like she got her whole. She has her whole titty out, and then she's got like a pasty that's got like rings in it, and that's like holding up the whole dress. So it's like, what happens if you get sweaty? Have you thought of that? What happens if you get sweaty? You're just gonna be titty out. That doesn't help anybody. I don't know. I have a very complicated relationship with lesbians. This is well documented. So, you know what it is? I think there's like nothing that turns me on more than a woman who doesn't want me at all. Like if I know like definitively a woman does not want me, that drives me crazy. I love that. Or a woman's like perfectly unavailable. Like a nun, or she's like trying to kill me like a zombie nun. Or like a vampire nun. Like that really turns my crank, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest. I feel like I can trust you guys with that kind of information. And I'll say this again. I've said this before on the show. I will say this again. The spider chick from James and the Giant Peach has it going on. And what's crazy about that? I don't think that's the weird take. I think you guys are weird for pretending that's not true. That feels weird to me. Anyway, let's get into some of the clips. I want to do the Billie Eilish speech. And then did you guys see the share thing? That was fucked up. Let's see. Let's just get into this. We're ready to get into the speech. We're ready. This. There we go. That should be good for the clips. Go ahead. Oh, this is like the shorter one. Let's see if I can find the longer one. That's kind of the gist of it, but let's see if I can find the longer one real quick. Blah blah. It's just I don't know, man. Here's the thing. One of the things that I've learned is that a lot of my opinions, even the ones that I thought were good, have ended up being retarded in the long run. That's one thing I've learned about life. And I can't imagine the confidence of celebrities to speak on things that they essentially know nothing about with such confidence. There's the longer one. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. And we're going to listen to what does Billie Eilish have to say? Because that's the thing. I was waiting to form my opinion on immigration issues. I was actually waiting on that. I didn't want, and the reason I wasn't willing to move forward, because I've been very reserved on immigration issues. I haven't been very outspoken. And I was waiting until I heard what Billie Eilish had to say. That was that was the expert view I was waiting for. Go ahead, Billie Eilish.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Yes, she's like nodding and crying. Yes. Yes, that's true. I feel that in my heart. I feel that in my heart. Yes. Yes. It's just like, okay, this is how, if you want to get far in entertainment, you need to learn how to say things that are going to make women clap and nod. Yes. Yes. This is like the Oprah audience. deal. That's the key. Because this will like help you kind of synthesize popular opinion. Whatever makes women like clap and nod is what's current thing that's popular right now. And it's almost certainly vapid and retarded. Go ahead.
And
look how good she feels. Look how good she feels. Yes, and yes, everyone's clapping for me. I have correct opinion and I have validation from the crowd. Yes. By the way, as someone who professionally seeks validation from the crowd, it takes one to know one. So I don't really have any like moral superiority. Hold on, let's get the cat tree in the background. There we go. I don't have any moral superiority really in this discussion. You know, that's how I know what that face is. It's just like, it just feels really good when a room full of people is applauding for you. It's awesome. Highly recommend it, by the way. And this is a big fucking room. So this is like a lot of people. So she probably feels like, yes, I did have the correct opinion. Yes. And by the way, this is somebody who forms their opinions from consensus. So like if they don't have everyone agreeing with them at the same time, they don't know if they're right or not. That's how they determine whether or not they're right. They don't have any like bigger like reasoning tools to use. So that's what makes it like hilarious that she's commenting on it at all. Let's check in with the chat real quick as we're going. Let's see. Ronald Skinburn is here. What's up, buddy? Ronald Skinburn, friend of the channel. Welcome back, buddy. This is why we need the Department of Education. Yeah, dude, this is like Department of Entertainment. I was going to say, this is not a Professor Savage Dad take. This is a Professor Savage Dad take. Yeah, I've heard that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I heard Trump was trying to do like, he was trying to use like Sly Stallone or whatever as like the ambassadors to Hollywood or something. I heard about that. I don't know if that turned into anything. But yeah, okay, it is true that like mass media is an incredibly powerful tool that people are using to shape public opinion in a significant way. It used to be celebrity like endorsements were worth more. I mean, I think everybody always found celebrities vaguely annoying, but the abject contempt for these people. I mean, if you look at the outfits these people are wearing, it looks like the fucking Hunger Games, doesn't it? I mean, I was just shit. Look at this shit. I mean, it's just like, okay, in an environment where the average American is able to pay their bills on the time, this stuff is like not that annoying. But in the current environment, I just think the displays of just like wastefulness and wealth like this are just going to be grossly offensive to the average American. I don't think this is offering like distraction. And I think people deeply resent it when they sit in their ivory tower knowing nothing about what a normal person's life is like, and then push their opinions in this way. I just can't imagine believing that this is like, I have to say something. I have to. Or somebody told her to say it. I don't know which is worse. But yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really.
Do you see that? Okay, hold on. Something happened there. Because like, no one is illegal on stolen land. That's a mantra. Right? That it's like, yes, you agree with me. So what she's doing is she's not coming up with like a bold policy strategy. What she's doing is like, I believe the virtuous thing. I am virtuous. I am good. Exalt me. And they're like, yes, you are good and virtuous. And then everybody wants to cheer so that they know that everyone else agrees with them. This is like feeding this like consensus brain rot. Yes. But then as soon as she has to express her actual ideas, nothing to say. As soon as she has to improvise, nothing to say. And the reason it's hard to know what to say or do right now is because she doesn't want to say the wrong thing and get canceled. Because remember, she said something in Ireland. Remember, she got in trouble with these same people earlier this year or last year, where she was in Ireland and she was like, hey, it's weird to hang out with people who look like me. Because I imagine she's Irish. And so everybody in Ireland kind of looks Irish. And so she's like, hey, it's kind of weird that everybody around here looks like me. And they were like, how dare you, you white supremacist? Which, by the way, while we're talking about it, Irish is barely white. They really are being generous, including that was not the case for a long time. Like, that's barely white. By the way, yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's like, we're making it under the line, but like all the same stereotypes they have about black people, they used to also include Irish in that. I'm just saying, like, that's barely under the line. That's a recent thing. Anyway, but like, so it's like not, no, it's like not, but she was just like, oh, wow, all you people are like, you know, Irish looking or whatever. So she got in trouble with these people, which is crazy because like, you're never going to be pure enough for them. They're always going to be looking for a reason to crucify you. And as long as you cater to them, you're always going to be like one step away from them just completely turning on you. I don't know why people do this. I don't know. I assume she like, it's perhaps she has some like she feels sincerely emotionally moved. I think this is probably downstream of propaganda. I think celebrities probably scroll on their phone all day, just like everyone else. And they receive their download of propaganda from TikTok or whatever. And then they have some kind of publicist who tells them to say shit. I don't know. If this was like her idea or what, you know? Like, I have to say something at my Grammy speech. That's retarded. Like, why would you think that? Shut the fuck up. Why would you think that was I have to make this about me. I have to. Maybe it's just like narcissism. I don't know what motivates these people. Go ahead. It's hard for me to put myself in the headspace of thinking my opinion matters that much.
Hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and I say sorry.
Oh, that got bleeped. I'm assuming she said like fuck ICE or something. I don't know what she said. I assume it's like fuck ICE or something, and that's why they bleeped it.
No one is illegal.
Yay. All right. That was just retarded. Oh my God. So I guess like, again, it's hard for me to put myself in the headspace of someone who thinks that this is like the time or the place to do that. But I mean, look, it got uproarious cheers from the fucking Hunger Games brigade. So like, it is like really like, why is it that when celebrities go to award shows, their outfits are always like a regular outfit, but a little bit retarded? Like, that's a male celebrity. That's what they do. Like, it's like, I'm wearing a jacket, but my sleeves are too long. This jacket does not fit me. These pants are too high. Like, I don't understand I don't understand why that's high fashion. Or like the thing we were talking about earlier with the nipple ring dress. What the fuck is even the point of that? They had fucking Heidi Klum fucking like vacuum sealed into this dress where her whole like butt crack and nipples are showing. It's like, why? That can't be comfortable to wear. Like, how are you going to sit down? Like, what? Why are we doing this? Like, what is this? Why is that high fashion? This is uncomfortable and badly tailored. So that makes it cool. I want to be photographed in this. Why? You could not pay me to get photographed in these outfits. I think this is just like an absence of masculinity. A lot of these male celebrities, by the way, who are just wearing the outfits with like the jacket's too big, and that's the gimmick. It's like the jacket's too big, the pants are too high, but I'm not wearing a shirt. Like all these, I think they just need more male friends because they're taking their fashion advice from like gay men. And you need dudes, you need your dudes around to be like, nah, bro, that looks like shit. You should not wear that. I have a friend once who bought a fedora. And that fedora never saw the light of day. You're welcome. You're welcome. Because do you know why? Roasting. You know what he went with? A cowboy hat. And it looks great. So that's what happens. That's what happens. That's the value of male roasting behavior. Like, I would not let you leave the house looking retarded if you were my friend. Or if you did, I would make fun of you until you either changed or maybe didn't. Maybe you just decide you like the roasting and you're like, no, I like this outfit. Fuck you. In which case it does become cool. But they don't dress like this all the time. They dress like this for award shows. They're just like, I'm just going to wear the most retarded thing I could think of. And that's going to be high fashion. And then you're all going to like it because you're all like slop consumers. And you're just going to tell me how cool I am. It's like, nah, it looks fucking weird, dude. This is a bunch of very, very, very weird people. And Is it okay? And why are they all okay? Why are they all having plastic surgery to like make their faces look the same? Like that's fucking weird. It's like our celebrities are starting to look weird because they're having so. I mean, I know they've like always done this, but like why? Why? Okay, like even if we look at Billie Eilish, I'm not trying to shit on Billie Eilish. This isn't like shit on Billie Eilish Day, but like if you look at her face, man, it's all like her nose is all like shiny and her lips are all puffed up and her forehead doesn't move. Bro, and like what they did to that little Stranger Things girl, you know, the surgeon who did the oops, hold on. At stage. There we go. Yep, there we go. That the surgeon who did the little Stranger Things girl should be shot. What the fuck, man? What is going on with these people? Like this, and that's what I'm saying. It has to be some kind of like demonic shit, man. And I'm not trying to be like an asshole about it. I genuinely feel bad for a lot of these people that they feel like they're captured in whatever this like crazy cult of worship is. It's not good to be surrounded by people who tell you how great you are all the time. It's really not. That's bad for a human. And I think a lot of them are like trapped in this cycle because social media is so volatile. Like one bad tweet can like end your career. So every time she speaks up, she's taking a risk. And one of the things, actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm kind of thinking out loud here. Now I'm thinking about this. I think not speaking up is also a risk. I think not speaking up is conservative coded, and she's already been in trouble with these. Because remember, City Sweetie just did an interview where she's just like, I'm not even political or whatever. I don't know why people care so much about her opinions, but they keep asking her because they keep grilling her on this, and she keeps taking questions from this, and she keeps dodging them. And she's like, I'm not even political. I'm in acting to act, which is like a totally like normal human response. But these people are blood-sucking vampires, so they can't let it go. They have to keep pressing her and pressing her and pressing her. Yeah, but there's like, yeah, but aren't you a Nazi though? Come on. You look like a Nazi. You're a Nazi. Just say you're a Nazi. Just say it. Just say it. And she's just like, no, I just have titties. Poor girl just wants to like sell her titties while she has them. And which God bless her for that, I guess. I mean, it's hard. We live in a goon culture. So like becoming goon bait is like the best strategy for women for whom that strategy is available. It turns out to be incredibly lucrative. I mean, what can I say? People follow incentives. It's a human nature thing, man. You can't do anything about it. I wish we didn't live in a culture that venerated gooning to such a degree, but gooning is basically the only thing Americans still have in common. And even that is becoming bifurcated along political lines. Like leftists are not gooning to say City Sweetie is right-wing goon bait. Okay. And then they get the rest of them. I guess the left gets like the rest of them. That's their goon bait. But it's becoming like increasingly weird looking with all this plastic surgery. Like it's just weird. Like a lot of these people are going to look fucking weird when they're old. Like I used to love Cardi B and I still do in some degree, but now I feel bad for her because her face just looks weird. Like it's had so many modifications at this point. It's just like weird. Dude, I mean, what happened to just getting old? Jesus Christ. Anyway, City Sweetie started a lingerie line. Yeah, I heard that. Apparently, it's selling very well. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I think City Sweetie is like goon bait and she's going to leverage her goon bait money into other business ventures. And then she's just going to be like stupendously wealthy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't hate her for that. I guess it's like people follow incentives. That's like a super smart thing to do. It's like, it sucks because like basically every online woman has to be thing/goon bait because that's like the most effective strategy. It's a huge fucking bummer, but like, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I don't love it. I just wish, oh man, I wish we could just rein in the gooning a little bit. Just rein it in just a little bit. It's just excessive gooning is just, it's not good for the soul. And it's definitely not good for the culture. And it's not good for like women's behavior. Just be honest with you. It's the same thing as like with celebrities. Everybody's telling them yes all the time. If like your DMs are just like flooded with people telling you how hot you are all the time, then you're going to think you're hot shit kind of justifiably. So, but like, that's not necessarily, Like Instagram is not real life, and men's attention is like very cheap. So like that guy who's telling you hi beautiful with the hard eyes, he's probably doing that to like 100 other women that are varying degrees of hot. Some women that he also thinks are beautiful would make those women feel insulted. Like he said I'm hot, but he also said this like, you know, sea cow was hot. So like what the fuck, you know. But they don't understand how cheap men's attention is, and they're very like, I've noticed this, like pretty much every woman thinks they're special when they're dealing with a guy. So if you're dealing with a woman, and you don't care about her, you should not do that, because she thinks she's special. Some women are like super cynical and they know better, but like those girls are dangerous. But for the most part, if she's not like completely scarred by life, she fucking assumes that your relationship means something. This is even extended to simps, for like Instagram simps for some reason, which is wild to me. But so yeah, so don't goon over women. That's the point. Don't goon and don't give women attention unless you're serious. There you go. Let's go. There was another thing that happened at the Grammys that was really fucked up that I just wanted to bring attention to for a second. Yeah, this was gnarly. This was like the Cher thing. So we're gonna watch a couple of different. There's a couple of different versions of this. Let's go to this tab instead. There we go. And then we'll. All right. So Cher comes up to the. Hold on. You guys can't see it. There we go. Fixed it. I am a professional. This is professional operation here. So Cher comes up to the microphone, I guess. She's like fucking 80 years old at this point, by the way. And they're still trying to like, you know, slut her up a little bit. I mean, this is not like excessively slutty, but it's like not matronly. You know, this is still like, they gave her this preposterous wig. Anyway, go ahead.
You know, I guess I'm supposed to walk off now. All right. I have to walk off.
And so they think she's doing a bit. But what I think we're forgetting here is that this is an 80-year-old woman.
Before you go, Cher. Cher, before you go, could we get you to announce?
By the way, I got to give it to Trevor Noah as a comedian / host. I got to give it credit. This is an incredibly awkward situation. They're committing elder abuse on live television, and he's still trying to save the laugh. He's still trying to save the energy of the room. I could say, as, you know, to the extent that Trevor Noah and I are peers, which is not very much. It's not really in the same category at all. But yeah, being a comedian / host is very difficult. This is very awkward, and he is doing his best to save it, and he does a pretty good job.
The nominees. I could do it, but it's not the same. I don't have the track record. Welcome back, Cher, everybody.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Anyway, let's see this other video. There's another video. This is also
And
bad.
the Grammy goes to...
Oh, fuck, dude. That is bad.
They told me it was going to be on the prompter. Oh, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross.
Oh, fuck, dude. Dude, that's fucked up. It's like somebody who cleared this to happen. Who did this? This is fucking, that's bananas that happened on television. That's crazy. Dude, that's elder abuse. That's incredibly fucked up. Like, I'm not even like fucking, you know, I don't even have anything bad to say about Cher. That was like fucking awful. Why are they doing, what was that even for? By the way, who is that for? Who's like, oh man, I'd be sure to tune into the Grammys. Cher's going to be there. Who is this audience that this is for? Is this not, I mean, this may not be, I understand Cher has fans. I understand she had a career at one point. I didn't know she was like still like in the zeitgeist. I knew this was like a person people were like psyched about. I don't know. Maybe I'm off base. Maybe I'm off base. I know maybe she's like a permanent iconic fixture of American culture in a way that like I don't understand. Or maybe this is like a coastal like gay thing. So I'm pretty sure it's like gay people who live in Los Angeles that decide what goes on television. I'm pretty sure. And I'm also going based on the dresses that people are wearing. I'm assuming that that's like the Chapel Roan titty dress. Again, I can't show you the dresses because of fucking YouTube, but that's irritating. Just fucking Google it. Just fucking Google it. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, what are we doing here? Why is it like this? Why is everything so gross and bad? I don't know. And it's what I guess upsets me is that like we have a situation where I don't know who, but somebody, and we're figuring out who, but somebody is like lying to people on purpose so that they will go out and like fight law enforcement and get shot so that they can use them as martyrs to push their agenda. And they have really grossly mischaracterized the state of the nation to a lot of people. And so there's a lot of people who are really like aggressively like activated politically right now in a direction that is skewing towards violence. Like a lot of people are talking about it. Like Juan Carlo Esposito the other day, the Breaking Bad guy, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, pretty cool guy, I thought. And he's talking about, we might have to have a revolution. 50 million people may die, but those of us that survive will be, it's like, you mean 50 million other people? That's the thing. There's always like other people who need to do the dying when it comes to the wealthy, And here's the thing, like a lot of people are going after Billie Eilish for saying no human is illegal. It's like, oh, so that means I can come to your house or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. So here's the thing. The reason I'm not doing that is because I don't think she's saying that as a policy point. I don't think she has any concept of what that means from a policy perspective. I don't think she's thought of the second, even the first order consequences, much less the second and third order consequences of what that means as a doctrine. I don't think she has any concept of like why borders would matter in a nation state. And she doesn't have any knowledge of history of how land is passed around from ethnic groups, and land changes hands a lot, actually, historically. Just people fight and land changes hands. And the nation state is a relatively novel idea, and it works pretty well. Like it's a good system, but nation states only work if they enforce their borders. And if anybody's allowed in, then you don't have a country. So like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like this isn't a crazy thought, and it's like not like no human is illegal on stolen land is just like a nonsense phrase that doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't mean anything, but she doesn't know that. And the reason I don't want to take that apart from a policy perspective is because she's not saying it as a policy proposal. She's saying that because that's one of the mantras that will show the other people that she has the right opinions. And like I said, actually, she's taking a risk. She would be taking a risk by not saying anything. Because then people would criticize her and say, why didn't you speak up? I guarantee you she'd have people in her shit. There's probably people who are up her ass right now because she didn't mention Palestine. It's whatever current thing is. By the way, actually, you know what? Now that I'm saying that, all the Palestine people have been really quiet. Which sucks because like after the Epstein files drops, there's a lot of like fresh reasons to be mad at Israel. So you would think like the people who were like all about Palestine like a few months ago would be like psyched about that, but it doesn't seem like they are. It seems like they're focused on the ICE thing. It's weird. Here's the thing, because of the nature of reality, the world is filled with like infinite chaos and violence and genocide at all times. What you choose to pay attention to is essentially up to you, but you could pay attention to any number. There's like an infinite number of things that you could be paying attention to that are all more or less equally bad. So this is why I think people are irritated with the current thing people, is that what they are passionately caring about and willing to die for like changes based on whatever like media slop they've consumed most recently. It's just whatever TikTok told them was important. And my suspicion is that Billie Eilish is just repeating whatever TikTok told her is important. And so I'm like not, shitting on her for that. And also, I understand her trying to protect her brand because people are going to come after her if she says nothing. And to be fair, there was, because like, here's the thing, this to the same degree that a lot of people in my audience is definitely right of center for sure. Not a lot of left-wing people in my audience for sure. To the extent that you are absolutely, everybody's welcome here, but like, it's mostly like right of center people. And the people who are in my audience, a lot of you are absolutely sick of celebrity culture and what's been produced by it for the past few years. You feel alienated, you feel openly attacked. And so you guys would love it if stars just kept their politics to themselves like they used to back when they were fucking owned by the movie studios and their images were managed so closely, But their side and the people who actually like engage with her art and like buy her records, like, which is like young women, there's an expectation by the ravenous hordes of leftists that you appease them at all times with your words and actions, and you throw out little virtue bones to them so that they tell you how great you are, but they will also condemn you if you are not sufficiently virtuous. They're always like virtue checking each other. There's like purity tests, constant purity tests. And it's excruciating, by the way. It's a horrible way to live. I mean, I would not choose to live that. I don't choose to live that way. I choose to live in a very different way. Stand-up comedy, friend of the channel. Yeah, it's like, I chose to just like opt out. I was like, I couldn't do it myself. And what's crazy is like, it's like current thing is always changing. And I think they're right. Full Metal Nate hit it on the head. They're quiet because their overlords told them to be mad about ICE. Yeah. The people who were obsessed with Palestine are now obsessed with ICE. Now, credit to the dissident right. The dissident right is very mad about Israel today, just fuming about it. And to be fair, like, this is gonna just another thing that's gonna make another really compelling argument for their case. So, yeah, dude, just fucking demoralizing. And of all the, but like, I don't know. Is it so bad to just like accept your reward and say thank you and just like sit the fuck down? Like, is that so hard for people? Like, I don't know. I guess it now that. I think, honestly, I think that looked self-protective to me. I actually, you know what? My take is not shut the fuck up, celebrities. Although, yes, shut the fuck up, celebrities. Like, I think a lot of these people are in a position where they're just like captive to the ravenous hordes that would love to destroy them. And being at the top of the pile, you've just got like, you're just like not insulated from that. Like, people really want to destroy you if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. So I think that might be sort of like why Nicki Minaj made the career pivot she did. That's interesting. That's interesting to me. I don't know why. I don't know why she did that. It's she likes Donald Trump. That wouldn't surprise me because I don't know, if you just like talk to actual human beings, it's just like, there's people of all different, if you actually have real friends, this is how leftists are retarded, because leftists will assume that all black people are like woke leftists because they don't know any actual black people. And if you actually like hang out with people, you'll find out that they have diverse opinions on a variety of issues and that they do not function as a monolith. And a fair amount of them are MAGA or like voted for Donald Trump at least. So it doesn't, man, that's true of men and women. So like, it's only like leftists who have this retarded idea that like black people all think the same. That's like a white leftist construct for the most part. That's not reality. People have different opinions. And so it didn't like I guess it didn't super surprise me that Nicki Minaj was like a Trump fan. What did surprise me was the degree to which she was willing to be public about it. That was like kind of shy. And that's why she's not invited to this shit anymore. She's not at the Grammys. The most successful, female rapper in the history of mankind is not invited to the Grammys, I guess, because she's doing her thing. I don't understand. Like, I guess I'm thinking, well, my thought is like, what has she got to get? If she puts out more music, it's probably just going to get eviscerated and chopped up by critics. Like, people are probably just going to be mean to her. Like, her fans will like it, but like, it'd be like, she really, like, I think, it's time to, rap music, like hypersexual rap music, is kind of a young woman's game. And she's a mother now. So I understand like pivoting to a different, like leveraging her existing celebrity into political capital, because the reality is the right wing will just like simp for any celebrity who's nice to them. We're just like, just to get a sniff, they will just drool and just like, oh yes, any celebrity. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be fucking Carrot Top. It could be whoever. By the way, Carrot Top's actually very good. He has his face on a billboard out here in Vegas. He's actually really good at comedy. So I'm not shitting on Carrot Top. I'm just saying he's not the most famous guy right now. More famous than me though. Shout out Carrot Top. Not trying to shit on you, bro. You know what I mean? But like, just like absolutely any celebrity that is like vaguely right way, like Dean Cain is a is a big guy. Kevin Sorbo. These are all people that I like, by the way. I like their work. I'm not shitting on them. It's just like the degree to which the right wing will simp over celebrities is a little gross. So they were like a little too excited when Nicki Minaj was going to be like, yes, I support. And by the way, the reason I bring this up and this is true of Sydney Sweeney too, they also don't know anything. These people also, their opinions are not valuable. None of their opinions are valuable. It doesn't matter. I don't care if their opinions agree with you or not. Their opinions have no value. They should not have any influence over the way you think about anything. Like, and it's not, what's crazy though, is that they do. It is a fact that they do, I guess. I don't know. I don't see this Billie Eilish speech having like a big positive effect. Like, I don't see that. I don't see anybody who's like, well, if Billie Eilish thinks so. I think that was like more of like a self-protective thing, but it's just, I think the goal of it from the media is to just have such an overwhelming validation of one particular perspective that to the average person, it feels like everybody thinks that. And so for the people that form their opinions off of consensus, that's very persuasive because they'll just be with what they want to be with what everybody else thinks, because that's the way to engage in minimal conflict. And most people have no desire to experience conflict of any kind. So that's what I think is going on. It's just to reinforce consensus, if I had to guess. I don't know if there's like anything dispositive about Billie Eilish as an individual, but as part of the broader consensus, it makes the consensus feel overwhelming, especially when you pan over the crowd and everybody's like cheering, and Sabrina Carpenter with the tear coming down her eye because she's another, big, artist with women. So yes. Mr. Scott Awesome's in the chat, friend of the channel. Hello, fellow theologians. I love that. Yeah, man. So I think it's just like a consensus building. And what's crazy is that this is kind of connected to the Sydney Sweeney thing, because her whole concept of like just dodging the question essentially and just like not being right wing, that's being read as she's conservative. She just doesn't want to say it. And I understand there's good reasons to think that might be true. Because that is a thing people say a lot when they're conservative and they just don't want to talk about it. But like, it's very like, you cannot simply be non-racist. You must be anti-racist. If you're not anti-racist, then you're pro-racist. If you're not with us, you're against us. It's like friend-enemy distinction logic. It's really gross. But like, that seems to be what's happening with her. But the thing is, like, I don't, even if her opinions were like in lockstep with my own, she was like, everybody should go to church. Everybody should go to church. Yeah. Everybody should become Catholic tomorrow. We should have a crusade on Jerusalem. Lesbians aren't real. She just said everything that I think women's literacy was a mistake. All my opinions. I wouldn't care. That would actually, you know what? I take that back. That would be awesome. But like, it's not going to influence like the way that I, operate. And I think it's like way more harmful for the brand than it is good. But like, although what's weird about that is her remaining neutral, you can kind of see that her remaining neutral on issues is alienating leftists. Like, she's just like MAGA Barbie now. That's just her brand. and she's trying to pivot out of it. But I think what they would really like is for her to capitulate. But she released an apology at one point that said, like, I'm not hateful, I'm not racist, whatever. But like, that's not what they want. They want her to say no human is illegal on stolen land. They want her to repeat one of the call signs. They want her to repeat one of the phrases that indicates that she's part of the tribe. But what's crazy is once you capitulate to them, then you're opting into purity testing, and then your purity can be tested at any time. And the consequences of failing a purity test is you lose your fucking career. That's crazy. That's just like not a way to live. It's just not a way to live, man. I don't know what, I guess it's like very comfortable, and it's great having people tell you how great you all are all the time, and you get like unlimited drugs and like pussy or whatever. But like, I don't know why you would choose to live this way. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the City Sweetie thing. I'm interested in what's going to go on there. But yeah, the Grammy Awards were just like a pompous, heinous, sanctimonious display of excessive wealth. And I think people deeply, deeply, deeply resent being lectured by sanctimonious windbags who have no idea what they're talking about. Like deeply, deeply, these are deeply vapid, shallow, uninformed, self-involved. Like, and the narcissism that fuels these people is just it's all there is. It is all-consuming narcissism. It hurts them and everyone around them. No one enjoys interacting with these people. It's in a constant state of fear and appeasement of their childish whims. These are the people our society has chosen to elevate. Some of them happen to be talented, but like, I mean, in Rome, it was thought that like being an actor was like a low class, low status profession. And I cannot think of anything more correct. I truly cannot. Having known a few entertainers, I have a very low opinion of entertainers as a class of people. And I say that as a touring comedian. By the way, catch me in Medford, Oregon on the 6th and 7th of February. Catch me in Medford, Oregon. I'll be at Chadwick's tap dancing for my supper. That's fucking awesome. Dude. Yeah, no, I fucking love doing comedy, but like there's something that like motivates people to pursue like this level of like fame and popular approval. It's just this all-consuming narcissism. A need for constant validation and need to be liked. And just like they don't have their own opinions. Like they don't have, like there's nothing going on in there. So I don't understand the point. Personally, I don't see the appeal. I don't know that people are still watching this. I guess they are, or they wouldn't still do it. I guess if it didn't make money, they wouldn't do it. But like, do you know anyone who gives a shit about this? I don't know. Maybe I just don't surround myself with the right people. Are there normies who give a shit about this at all? Or are we? I don't know. Anyway, the thing is, like, this stuff is, what I'm saying is like this greater media narrative. This is part of constructing the greater media narrative. Anyway, sorry, I need to start this monologue. Give me a second. When you have this sense created by the media of overwhelming consensus on an issue and a lot of urgency, like basically like we live in like Nazi times and it's like time to rebel. And that's like 100% of what's being pumped into your brain. And the dominant culture is validating that. That has a significant impact on normies who derive their opinions from consensus. And downstream of that, when you get to like impulsive or mentally unhinged people, it has consequences. And that's what we're seeing play out in the streets of Minneapolis with these people hopping on like signal chats. And I just saw this thing today. It was like the mayor of Long Beach is like calling out gang members to meet with him so they can game plan how they're going to resist ICE. Like in Long Beach, they're going to enlist the help of the gang leaders, I guess, to do that, which is okay, I guess, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? And I don't know if this is like, I assume that this guy is just, addicted to his phone and brainwashed by his phone. We're talking about people being brainwashed by media narratives on their phone. I wanted to pull this up because this was a couple of like high school students that were like protesting on a corner. And look, I mean, if you want to protest or whatever, this is in New York, I guess, but like, look, if you want to protest or whatever, that's fine. I don't really object to children learning about civic participation. But I mean, the amount of protests that have been led by teachers and like school walkouts and stuff like that is, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what this is for. This is for, and it's having an impact on the way they think about it. Now, this is just like a random sample, right? This is sure that this is broadly representative, but I want to let's take a listen to what these young people are saying.
Coming to a city near you, they will find a way to blame you. They will kill you and they will find a way to blame it. They will kill your friends and family. They will deport people. It is not.
I'm assuming she's talking about ICE. So what she's saying is they will come to your city, they will kill you, they will find a way to blame you, they will kill your friends and family. That's what she thinks ICE is doing. Okay. To be clear, and she thinks that because someone told her that. Okay. And probably a lot of someone's on TikTok. And the whole media narrative and all the cool singers that she likes and all the cool actors that she likes and or whatever celebrities people are into now. I guess streamers are popular. I don't know what children are into, but you see what I'm saying? Like whatever famous people she like are all spitting the shit back at her too. And everyone she likes on TikTok is spitting it back to her. And it's what she's getting. Probably every third video is some kind of like anti-ICE propaganda.
Far away enough that you can ignore it. You see the human rights violations. And we have amendments protecting our rights to do things like bring guns or stand up to ICE officers.
Yeah, so we have amendments to, that empower us to do things like bring guns or stand up to ICE officers. So kind of implied in that is that you are supposed to bring your gun to where ICE is and use it to shoot them. Kind of implied in that, right? Okay, so I'm not saying this person is going to do any shooting. I really doubt that she is, but it seems like she would think that was a good thing. And I understand this is like a very young person, so I'm not really picking on this person. This is not a conclusion that she arrived at on her own. It wasn't like she was just like looking out at the world in like a vacuum and she was like, man, somebody really needs to shoot these ICE agents. Like, that's not what happened. So this opinion was given to her by a fire hose of propaganda. Definitely from TikTok. Probably there's at least one celebrity, at least a few different celebrities that I don't know what she thinks is popular. I don't know. I'll have to ask my niece what fucking kids are into. She's 13. This girl probably looks to be like 15, 16. Like, she's a very young person. Maybe not even that old. You can't tell with all the warm clothes on. These might be like middle school kids. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. I mean, these are young people. So I'm not really shitting on them because like they didn't come up with the idea to do this, right? They may have come out with the idea to stand on the corner with like ISIS for skating, not hating. I mean, that's like very middle school-y. These might not even be high school students. These are very young people. So I'm not like shitting on them and saying like, oh, these are bad Americans or whatever. It's like this opinion was given to them somehow. And I think it's just like this. It's meant to, when you see stuff like that at the Grammys, where they're like making speeches and stuff like that, and then you pair that with the TikTok and you pair that with whatever message they're getting from their presumably leftist teachers, it starts to feel like it's an overwhelming consensus. Everybody thinks like this. Therefore, you should think like that too if you want to get along with everybody. And that's really important, especially to like young people and women too, and a lot of men too, by the way. They derive their opinions from consensus. Like, they don't think through things independently. They're just like, what is everybody else doing? I'm going to move with the herd. That's most people. Okay. It's probably like 20% of people that are like, I don't think so. But that's, That's not the norm. But it's like really alarming to hear young people talking like this. It's alarming. This narrative has been manufactured to some degree. I don't know to what degree. Like people are, I do not buy this as an organic protest movement whatsoever. Like I'm not buying that. Like I'm sorry. Look, and I know people are upset about stuff and things and whatnot, but like this is just like, dude, this is fucking crazy to hear a kid talking like this. Like, can we just take a sec and just sit with this? How crazy it is. Yeah. Anyway, TikTok needs to be banned. It's such a disease. TikTok is incredibly powerful for shaping public opinion. Incredibly powerful, and it really tanks attention spans, and it's probably largely responsible for, you know, why the kids can't read. Supposedly, there's a lot of reports coming out about how the kids can't fucking read. That's alarming. That's alarming. And yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know if you can exactly I don't know how you would ban, because you'd have to ban really the short video format, and people really like it, dude. And here's the thing, they're trying to figure out how to make the short video porn. Like I'm not up on like all the latest innovations in porn, right? But like I'm assuming it's like not that long. It's like, wow, that's gonna be fucking devastating. Of course, honestly, that may be like the digital or the Blu-ray disc or the digital or HD DVDs that got skipped over for Blu-ray discs, because like short video porn is one thing, but like VR porn is like right around the corner, man. It's already here, and it won't be long before it's like widely available. Like, dude, the level of technology that allows you to check out of reality completely is really crazy. And the more people check out of reality, the easier it is to lie to them about what reality looks like. We've got kind of a Plato's cave situation going on here. People mostly consume reality through their fucking phones now. So like getting people, and that seems to be an incredibly powerful tool for shaping public opinion and getting people all worked up to like go fight the government. Dude, and that's why I'm like hesitant with the Epstein file stuff, because like all the stuff that's being talked about is highly disorienting, and it's hard to really make heads or tails of it, and a lot of it is like really inflammatory. But like honestly, it's being pushed in that same short video format. So it's like I'm not sure anything that comes out of the short video format is organic. I'm really not. I mean, X is a little bit different. I do kind of like, I favor X a little more but it's definitely like algorithmically driven. Like it's definitely showing you the stuff that you respond to and that you like. But like, yeah, dude, like the kind of shit that's happening on TikTok and spreading in the way that like social contagions are spreading and like retarded ideas about reality are spreading is really fucking harmful. Like, I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if like banning it is like a workable solution. I don't know if people, here's the thing, like a lot of stuff that's not happening. Why isn't Trump doing this? Why isn't Trump doing that? I'm not 100% sure that the state can do some of the things we're asking it to do. I don't know if it can. I don't know if it's a lack of desire or a lack of will. It might be a lack of ability. I'm starting to think that like maybe nobody has a lid on this thing. Like this whole like ICE protest thing, I think has escaped containment. Like, I don't think it's as simple as send in the National Guard and like crack down. Like, I think this is like escaped containment. We've talked about this on previous episodes of the show. Like, local governments are actively and openly resisting ICE. And well, this is like siding with criminals is crazy. You know, that's what Nate was talking about earlier, is like the mayor of Long Beach, which I have that clip somewhere. Hold on, let's see if I can. There's a guy talking about the clip. I don't have the original clip, so it doesn't matter. But like the fact that he's like trying to side with like gang leaders in his community for like, how do we oppose ICE? What the fuck are we doing here exactly? Like, are you, because this seems like what it seems like to me is I know somebody might get shot or have a bad use of force incident, but I don't want it to be me or anyone I value. So I'm going to try to find bodies that I can throw in front of this thing that are disposable. I think that's what's really bugging me about the whole thing is all of this like terminally online, like leftist slop that is converting people into retarded zombies. The people that are most affected by that are people whose lives are not going well, people who are like economically in not an awesome situation and who are like maybe have some mental health issues. And those are the people that are out in the streets with like frothing at the mouth. People who have nothing else going on. Like they don't have a job to go to, or maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're choosing not to go because they're in the streets, you know? And I mean, it sucks. I mean, the reason I feel really bad about the Renee Good situation is she had kids, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this way? This must be like industrial grade mental health issues. It must be. That's causing people to do that. I can't imagine prioritizing going out in the streets and like trying to start a confrontation with law enforcement when you have kids at home. Like, dude, it's so crazy, man. Like the American critical thinking ability has been like sorely weakened. Like our ability to just look at stuff and evaluate it has been devastated. Maybe it was never there. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. What I say is like, one of the reasons I become so democracy skeptical is I'm not sure democracy works because what we're doing right now is mob rule. And what the mob, remember, a mob is 2 standard deviations stupider than a person. Remember that. So it's not individual people, it's a mob of people. And the purpose of a mob is to grab the torches and pitchforks and run the monster out of town. That's what mobs are for. That's not for rational thinking. But when we're subject to the emotional whims of the mob, and the emotions of the mob can be manipulated by mass media to the degree that they can now with like TikTok. Like the machine that gives you your propaganda is in your pocket and you're addicted to it. Like the Soviet Union would have begged for that. Oh, and by the way, absolutely everything about me as a person, including my location, is being tracked by this device as well. So it's like, and you're addicted to it, and you can't, the society doesn't function without it. That's great. Like that's, guys, this is really like a fucking Faustian bargain we have here. We have unlimited access to like knowledge, all the knowledge in the history of the world. We have it right here, and we mostly use it to beat off. And yeah, so then people are like, oh, we could use this to like greatly manipulate public opinion and kind of like manufacture consent. And it's like, fuck, man. Well, that's, so it's like, are the people's interests getting represented at all? Are there any real patriots left? Or is it just like cynical, like power gaming? Is there anybody who has ideals and principles at all? And it turns out the answer is like, no, basically. So that's demoralizing. So anyway, here, 5th gen warfare. Trump needs war room with people who have a pulse on internet culture. Pollsters like Rich Barris and Mark Mitchell are trying to push for this. This is very smart. This is a very smart take. Thank you, Mr. Scott. This is a very good take. So that's something that I think the Trump administration understands better than any previous administration, except for maybe Obama. Obama understood the internet a little bit, but the internet's changed a lot. Obama is not as good at the internet as he used to be. Basically, every tweet he tweets gets mobbed with hate, justifiably. But yeah, he's not hip anymore. The Trump administration is more than any other administration engaging with the meme culture effectively. But they are kind of losing the information war on this ICE thing. And okay, did you notice, this is something I said before, but did you notice right after both of the shootings, they made a statement like right away, and they got some like key facts wrong, but like they made a statement right away rather than waiting for all the facts to come out. And I think the reason they did that was because they knew that the media was going to start lying immediately. So they needed to do something to get in front of it. They had to do something to get in front of it. because they knew that the narrative, because it's like the internet rewards first, not right. And like once the narrative is out there, there are people who will believe it, and then that's what they're going to believe now, and they're not going to update their opinion with new information. Like once they form an opinion, that's just what their opinion is, and they're going to die with it. So it's like first thing out the gate has to be right. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't work as well because the leftists will just take their dogma because they have so many reality-defying beliefs. They'll just take whatever they're told and repeat it. They won't fact check, they won't verify, and they won't change their emotions. They'll like fortify it emotionally, what that opinion is, and then it's flash frozen. That's it. On the right, a lot more people are actually concerned with what's true, and so they will like ask questions. They'll be like, "That's not right." So Trump got some heat for that, but I understand why he did it. This is like Obama had a war room. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably right. So yeah, I think you got to think about this as like, and it's not, what's crazy is like, it's not just like local American actors that are fucking with us. It is our enemies. Like one thing we know now in hindsight is a lot of the stuff that came out that got people all riled up for Black Lives Matter. A lot of that stuff was being pushed by Russian and Chinese bot accounts. And they were trying to basically disrupt the internal unity of the country on purpose with mass media communication, kind of taking advantage of how free communication is in here by deliberately polluting the well. And they know that we don't have like heavy state control of social media and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is relatively some state control, actually. It's actually, there's a lot more state control than we would like to believe. But we have, ostensibly, we have a free press. But, I mean, now we know, what we know now is there's, I mean, especially with the Epstein files dropping, we know that people have been manipulating the narrative on the internet basically since there's been a narrative on the internet. And the internet exists as like a mass media narrative creating machine. And what's crazy is that like the main interest of like a lot of like everybody's obsessed with politics now. And it was not that way, you know, even like 10 or 12 years ago, it was not that way. It was weird. I remember one time I went to the hairdresser I was seeing at the time, and she had like an opinion on who the Secretary of Defense was going to be. And I'm like, huh? Why do you? Prior to that, she wasn't that interested. And I actually thought more political engagement by more Americans would be a good thing. If you'd asked me that, I would have said, oh yeah, of course that'd be a good thing. It's really not. Like most people are retarded. They don't know anything about anything. They're just repeating what they're told. They don't know anything about anything. So yeah, and now they're just so many more people are so much more politically engaged than they used to be. And it's like, yeah, whatever current thing is, it's current thingism. Whatever the current thing is that we're choosing to get upset about, that's what we're going to do. I actually agree. I think we need to just accept the fact that we have friend of the channel. I can't hear Theo's talking about going to a hairdresser. Alpha Omega, friend of the channel. One of my favorite chatters. What's up, buddy? How you doing? This is like, I don't know if like the political engagement on that level is like healthy or good for most people. The other thing too is getting people to obsess about things that are outside of their control is a great way to make everybody mentally ill. That's literally what most like mental illness comes down to is like, or that's not true. That's wrong. What I'm saying is if you obsess about things that are outside of your control, that's like the same thing as being anxious and depressed. That's what causes it. And there's like external things that cause it too. But, you know, I'm a big fan of Stoic philosophy, and that's a lot about self-mastery. And I think it really works with Christianity very well. So I think that helps me a lot, like reframe things. But like, yeah, if you change how you think about the problem, you will change how you feel about the problem. Like if you like where was I going with that? I don't know. I'm retarded. Anyway, yeah, it's like basically when something happens and you experience emotional pain, the pain comes from how you think about the thing that happened, not the thing itself. That's tricky, but it's true. Like, okay, if I drop my pancakes on the floor, right? Now I've ruined my pancakes and I have to clean up the floor. Now I could think of that as a giant fucking inconvenience that's going to ruin my day, or I could think about it as an opportunity to make some fresh pancakes that are even better than those ones. God didn't want me to have those pancakes for some reason. Oh well, and you keep pushing. Right? Both thoughts exist. Both thought that's it's just the event is just the event. How you think about it matters a lot. And the fact that it happened already, I can't go back in time and make it unhappen. The only thing I control is how I respond. Right. But and if you think about it that way, that's a great way to think about that makes you a lot more cognitively resilient, is what I'm saying. Like suffering, a lot of suffering is within your control if you can change how you think about problems. It helps to be religious, by the way, to do this, by the way, because then you're supposed to be one of the ways it's easier to be okay, regardless of outcomes, regardless of what happens to you, is if you think everything that happens is within the context of the will of God. And my only goal is to align myself with the will of God and my desires are irrelevant. Then you just try to be as virtuous and follow God as much as you possibly can. Just do what you think God wants you to do in every situation and just ride it out. Like that is just like mentally and emotionally, you're going to feel a lot better on a day-to-day basis. I think what is happening to a lot of people, why they're so anxious and depressed, is the messaging they're receiving. First of all, they're obsessed with things outside our control. Like, how can I go get a job when I'm in late stage capitalism and the Nazis are in the streets, whatever. So how can I do anything when there's da. So they're constantly obsessed about things that are outside of their control. Two, they're also getting this like weird messaging that like, if you're, anything is possible. So you have like infinite things that you could potentially do. And they're getting like zero guidance from society about what good things to do are. So it's like, hey, what's virtuous? Do whatever you want. How do I get a husband or wife? Whatever makes you happy. What's a good way to behave? Whatever makes you happy, just go with it. Like there's like no top-down guidance for how people are supposed to act. We've gotten rid of gender roles. We've gotten rid of like any shared concept of morality. We've gotten rid of social norms to the point where we've said social norms are weird, and you're weird if you want to enforce some kind of social norms. You're weird if you want to say that anything anyone else is doing is like weird or uncomfortable, then you're a bad person. Like if that drag queen jiggling their butt cheeks in front of a toddler makes you uncomfortable, then you're a bigot and you need to unpack your toxic masculinity or whatever. Like that, the problem with the do whatever the fuck you want as a rule is that it gives you zero guidance. You have no idea what to do. You have infinite possibilities, and that's like paralyzing. So they keep people paralyzed at home, miserable, their lives aren't going well, and they have no idea how to change that. They have no idea because they've been told they have no agency. They're victims of late stage capitalism. They're victims of whatever phobia or discrimination or whatever affects them, whatever ism, ist or phobe or whatever. There's always a reason. If you're a woman and you can't get it off the ground, it's because of the patriarchy. If you're Black, it's because of white supremacy. If you're a white guy, it's your own fault. Figure it out. That's the message. But, maybe become non-binary and then you'll have something to complain about. Oh my God. Everything. My life would be going so much better, except for I had to dye my hair and get a bunch of facial piercings and tattoos and tell everyone that I'm a sex pervert. God, my life would be so much easier if I just didn't do those things. Too bad that's inextricably linked with my identity. It's like, just don't do that. Just don't do that. Just don't do that. Or do it at your house. Like, bro, this is not hard. You have so much more agency than you realize. But then if you tell people they have agency and that you have to accept the fact that your life is your fault and your life looks the way it does because of the choices that you made, and that and then you have to take ownership of it. And then you're like, fuck, because that feels bad. Like I went through something like that where I was like, oh my God, I hate every single thing about my life. And it's like, well, who did that? Who charted the course to get here? Who did that? You did that. So then I had to fix everything that I didn't like. Now my life is like pretty okay. There's things I would do better, but like I would say probably like 70-80% of my life is the way I want it to be. There's some other stuff that's missing for sure, like big stuff, but like we'll figure it out. we're filling it in, doing my best, one step at a time, baby. And like all of it like is downstream of like being more virtuous. And virtue is not like yelling at the government to fix things you don't like. Virtue is fixing your bullshit. Like you cleaning up your own backyard does more good than like standing on the corner and shrieking with a sign. So these people, clearly, the people who are creating the narrative do not have the best interests of these people at heart. That's obvious. They just want these people to die so that they have martyrs, which they can use to cause more social unrest because they want to destroy Western civilization for whatever reason. And it's Russians, it's Chinese, it's like billionaires, it's whatever. Whoever you want to blame, it's a lot of different groups who are all attacking the United States at the same time, which is why I think, yeah, if Trump wants to win the messaging war, especially because like it's clear the intelligence agencies are involved in some way. I don't know the extent of that, but it's pretty obvious to me that the intelligence agencies are not on Trump's side with this. So like, yeah, if he wants things to go well for him, it would probably be smart to engage some people full time and like actually strategizing about this as if it were a battlefield, because in some sense it is. I mean, this is cyber warfare. Like people are attacking the United States on purpose, trying to manipulate people and getting people to. Here's the thing. It's like, I know we would like to live in a world with like no propaganda, but it's like, I think it might be necessary for basically the Trump admin to just engage in counter propaganda. Not that they don't do that, but I mean, like, it's like propaganda versus propaganda at this point. Like, I don't like, you can't just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if you could just tell people the truth and the truth wins, because it's just like not as fun to believe truth. Propaganda is enticing for a reason. Like it is effective. It's like addictive snack food for retards. And it works on all humans to some degree. Like it's just, you got to be really resistant. And once you learn to recognize it, you can resist it. But a lot of people can't recognize it, you know? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it looks like, yes, keeping people in a state of anxiousness and on edge to manipulate them easier. Yes, that's big time. Let's see. The high churches used to teach logic. Yes, they did. Low churches use more emotion. This is extremely true. And by the way, this is like not popular to say. I am going to say it. I'm not trying to be mean, but like one of the reasons that the country is getting more religious, but women are going to a lot more of those churches where it's like, it's what you call a low church, where it's like, or what Catholics would call a low church, where it's like, where it's some like hippy dippy, like Joel Osteen looking motherfucker, some like hot Protestant in a suit on a stage, kind of like talking about, we just gotta, Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. You just gotta let Jesus love you. Just let Jesus love you. It's all good. Women are amazing. And men, you could do better. Like they go to those kind of churches and those are like flooded with women. And then the churches that are more like hardcore theology, like, or more hardline theology and have a lot more rules and are a lot more technical and have like a long history of like logic and rhetoric to them. Like those churches where you can just go for it. Like that tends to be like more men go to those churches, the more traditional churches that ask more of you and challenge you more. Like you're going to get challenged. Like if you're going to get challenged on your behavior a lot, if you want to conform your life to those churches, you're going to have to adopt a lot of rules and it's going to be very difficult. Whereas if you go to one of these like hippy dippy Protestant churches, it might just be like, hey, as long as I feel Jesus in my heart, it's good. And, and a lot of times they're using like live music and a lot of swaying. Look, bro, if that's how you get down, that's good. But like the reality is that I think the emotional, that's the way it preys on people's emotions. It not preys on, I guess, but like the way it uses emotions to move people. This is like a similar game to what the propagandists are doing with TikTok. It's like, whereas the advantage of like some of the high churches is they're a little nerdier and there's extensive writings going back like thousands of years that you can like really dive into and read. And there's a strong history of rhetoric and logic and using formal logic as proofs. And, these arguments have been hashed out a lot. It's like, so you're not just believing whatever feels good. Like there's like, if you want to know, like I say as a Catholic, if you want to know what the Catholic Church believes, or what if I want to know what I'm supposed to think about something, the catechism is just like on the website for free. You can just look. It's like, oh, that's what the church says. Got it. 100%. Why does it say that? Okay, I'll read about it. It's just all there. Unfortunately, it is. And by the way, some of it's like an incentive. Like the Catholic Church is just like stupendously wealthy. So like it's not as much of like an asses and seats game. Whereas if you're just like a dude who has a church and you need people to keep coming, then you can't piss them off. And you can't piss off women because women actually go to church. So Nate's here. My pastor is always telling women to do better. Great. Excellent. One of the good ones. No, it's a real problem, man. It's like, because it becomes an asses and seats game. And so you got to like placate and please people. So people need to be happy with you to keep coming because the money, but also, a lot of these churches are just not that old. So they don't have that same history of like rhetoric and logic. They don't have that same, for a long time, like the smartest people in the world worked for the Catholic Church full time on problems of like God, morality, and science or whatever. Not anymore. Unfortunately, it's really frustrating looking at the way the church is being run now, but it is what it is. You got to deal with it. I know a lot of really good priests who are doing good work, and I love those guys. Shout out to the priests, friend of the channel. But yeah, it's like, it's tough, man. It's tough. And I think a lot of people, I think because we live in a society that has basically said religion is like hokey and retarded, that, and you should just like do whatever you want. That whole like do whatever you want thing just makes you extremely vulnerable to someone telling you what you should do. And if your life is devoid of meaning, because a lot of people, they don't have jobs that they're excited about, they don't have families, or if they're not close to their families, they don't have any sense that they're involved in their community. They don't have like a great social circle. And the result of all of those things together is to be like really anxious and depressed. And by the way, that's probably the correct way to feel if that's what your life looks like. That's the correct way to feel, probably, is anxious and depressed. So, like, because your life sucks. That's just like that's not mental illness. That's just your life sucks. But there's nobody who's going to tell them that. Like, they'll go to their therapist and their therapist will tell them they're right about everything. And then they'll get like, their medications, which will modify their state of mind and modify their brain chemistry. Who the fuck knows what the consequences of that are going to be long term? We're not even like really having the birth control conversation right now, but like fucking with people, I'm just gonna say fucking with people's hormones impacts how they think about stuff. That's a fact. You can call it, you can dispute it if you want. You can extrapolate whatever you want from that, but it is a fact that if you add hormones to the body that the body did not make, it changes how you think about stuff. That's a fact. So we don't really know what the long-term consequences of this are about fucking with people chemically to this degree are going to be. And that's not saying anything about the food, right? So we've got all these external forces that are making us like anxious and depressed on purpose. And then they're like feeding us a steady stream of things to make us scared. Like, look at current thing. And then the other thing too is current thing changes so frequently that there's no sense of permanence or no sense of overriding narrative. And there's nothing that like really connects these issues. Like it was Black Lives Matter, and then it was gay, trans stuff, trans in women's sports, free Palestine, which those things are in like open conflict. Those are things that are like contradictory. And then now it's like, oh, Ukraine was in there, which is like a super homophobic country. So like, I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but for some reason we went from like trans to Ukraine to fucking, now it's ICE agents are getting deported because it's like, I guess like immigrants are like the main victim everybody cares about right now, I guess. Which just bizarre. And this is just that shifting focus, I think, makes it so that people can't really set their feet, and they have no like through line narrative on their life. Like they don't, because there's not like, if you think through these issues logically, they're not connected. So there can't be an underlying logic, because if you analyze it logically, it doesn't track. You have to actually you have to actually believe things that contradict reality in order to follow all of these issues. So that's got to be really disorienting. And they ask you to believe things about reality that are like demonstrably not true. That's going to be bad and uncomfortable no matter what. Because when you have normal human thoughts, like, hey, that's a man in a dress. My bad. I don't see that as a lady. Ugh. Not into it. Then you have to be like, oh, that's a bad thought. That's my internalized transphobia. I have to deprogram this. It's like, nah, bro, that's like a normal thing to think, pretty much. I was like, normal, like not that long ago. Like it was not that long ago. And now we've just all gotten like absolutely crazy. I don't know, man. Let's check in with the chat. Alpha Omega. A lot of that is just internet noise too, bombarded with access to everything you all at once. Yeah, I think that's people were not meant to see that much shit. Like that's the other thing too, is like people have an overstated sense of how bad their life is because they see everyone else having an awesome life on social media all the time. Like it's not that bad. Like it wouldn't be that bad to be poor if everyone was poor. But I think we get a really big sense of the overwhelming inequality. Like some people are very poor and some people have virtually unlimited access to everything. What does that mean? Like that makes people feel bad. That makes people think their life sucks. You know, so they have an overstated sense of how like bad and difficult and hard their life is. The other thing is complete historical illiteracy, widespread historical illiteracy. No concept of how bad wars are. Too, you know, a lot of it is Disney brain. Truly, a lot of it is Disney brain or like fiction brain, Harry Potter brain, whatever you want to call it. But I saw a guy post a video on YouTube. This is not my original idea, so shout out to this guy. I forget who he was, but basically he did a video where he's exploring this concept called Disney brain, where basically, it's like, okay, if you don't have Christianity as like a unifying force to give everybody morality, then how do you train people not to be psychopaths? You give them Disney movies where the good guy always wins, you know, and where being nice, it's like, just be nice, which is really good morality for children. Just be nice. But it's not that good. It's not a sophisticated morality for adults, because sometimes in order to like maintain civilization, you have to do things that are not strictly speaking nice to the enemies of civilization who would seek to destroy it. Sometimes you have to deal with those people kind of harshly. Then it becomes necessary. And so what now what we have is a bunch of people who are committed. They're so committed to being nice that they're willing to fight the forces that maintain civilization in favor of civilization's destruction, which is very bizarre, very mouse utopia. For those of you familiar with the mouse utopia experiment, I've spoken about it before. But that's what it looks like to me is going on out there. It looks like some fucking mouse utopia shit. Man. Let's see. Stopped taking my antibiotics depression medication months ago because it was literally making me a zombie. Yeah, I did something similar a few years ago. Now, I do not advocate if you're on psych meds, don't take what I'm saying as medical advice. I chose to stop taking all my psych meds and my life got better. I lost 60 pounds. I started being creative again and I got very clear-eyed and I got more creative than I had been in years. And I actually, what's crazy is that my emotions and like my nervous system became way more regulated after. But a lot of it had to do with I got rid of therapy culture. I jettisoned everything from therapy culture, and I just went whole hog into Catholicism and Stoicism and pieces of like Eastern mysticism that I found valuable. I think a lot of things that have come out of like Eastern civilization are valuable to study, you know. But my framework is mostly like Western Christianity, but specifically Catholicism. And the Greek philosophy pairs really well with that. And that's not by accident, by the way. That's Thomas Aquinas. That's intentional. Because the Greeks were very concerned with like how to live. Anyway, if you do that and you really, really work on the way you think, and I read a lot of books too, to be fair. If you really work on the way you think, and fix your diet, your emotions will really you'll just feel a lot better on a day-to-day basis. A lot of that is dietary, by the way. Like, I can't tell you how much, for those of you that have not worked on your diet at all, do that. Do that. Please. Like, that's a good, I strongly recommend. A lot of what is making people emotional is their blood sugar spiking and crashing because they're being fed all of this like garbage food. A lot of that is what's making people crazy. It has a way bigger impact than anybody realizes, I think. And this is why I'm happy RFK is focusing on it. But like, yeah, our diet has a huge impact on this. That's a big part of it, more so than we want to talk about. But yeah, that's my opinion. If you're taking psych meds, don't take that as medical advice. Go through your doctor and do whatever you think is best for you based on your doctor's advice. Seek out actual professional advice. That's a choice I made for me. That's not, and I'm telling you the effect it had on me. It sucks because you got to learn to like feel your emotions again and like be a person again. And for me, I was on psych meds for like a decade, basically from like 17 to like 27, 28. I was on basically the whole time. So a little more than a decade, but yeah, I was on psych meds the whole time pretty consistently, like very high doses too. And it wasn't until I stopped that my life started to make sense. I really don't think that if you're like depressed and anxious and your life sucks, that's because the society you're in hates you. It's normal to be upset about that. Like, it's normal to be upset when you're living in a society that hates you. That's like a normal reaction to like how catastrophically gross things are outside. That doesn't mean that you should give up, by the way. I think your life can always be better. Always be better. You have a choice. You can make it better or worse. You can do choices that make your life better, make choices that make your life worse. You don't have a choice to like magically wave a wand and have everything you want, but you can always make your life better. And God gave you the circumstances he gave you on purpose. So work with what you got, because that's the only thing we can do. But again, that's like the leftist mentality is like, well, if I can't be a billionaire, what the fuck is the point? Like, that is so much of it. Like, I've talked to people on the left and they're just like, there's like, yeah. And I'll say something like, oh yeah, well, yeah, you can't get X, Y, and Z, but you can make the best of what you have. And they're like, well, if I can't be the top of the pile, then what the fuck is the point? That really is their mentality, which I think betrays that underlying all of this is a spirit of resentment and a spirit of entitlement and a spirit of like, I should have more than I do. And it's bullshit that I don't. Like, I should have more and you should have less. Like, they don't hate billionaires. They hate not being a billionaire. Like, if they were a billionaire, they would feel differently. It's not good, man. Yeah. Using logic to try to understand the ever-changing positions is like staring into the fucking void. Yeah, I highly recommend that you just, that's what I keep saying to people. And I know that's frustrating because I know a lot of people in my audience are very truth motivated. You care a lot about what's true and what's not. And I'm just telling you, the people on the left do not feel that way. They do not have that same commitment to the truth whatsoever. So you just gotta realize it, man. Like, they don't give a shit about what's true. They care about what feels good and what they have to say to win. They don't have principles, but they know you have principles. So they'll try to make you look like a hypocrite, and they'll never take accountability for their own hypocrisies. And I know that's like very frustrating because you're like, that's provably false. But remember, you're not encountering a person with a different set of political ideas. You're encountering a religion. You got to think about it as an emergent religion. Like, you wouldn't try to like argue with like a Muslim and be like, oh, well, Muhammad wasn't really a prophet, herdy dirty dir. Like, they'd be like, that's just an article of faith they believe. So they're not gonna, it's not a bad, like, and they say this. It's like, well, political disputes are like, where should we put a stop sign? We shouldn't be disagreeing over human rights. And right at that, like, you guys and me, or at least I don't know about you guys, but I disagree with the concept of the way that they're constructing human rights. Like, all the things, like, they'll just call anything a human right, regardless of whether it has any relationship to scarcity, because scarcity matters. Like, okay, but how much does it cost to produce this thing you're calling a human right, whether it's housing or whatever? How much does it cost to produce it? Like, running water is a human right. Okay, but it costs money to lay all that pipe and find the water and purify it and get it to your house. That takes labor, time, effort, money, whatever. Somebody has to pay for that. So how do we make this happen? How do we do this? And they have no answer. They're just like, I want things and I want them to be given to me, and I don't want to have to do anything to get them. It's just like, literally, they're like adult babies. They just have like baby morality. Like they have not evolved beyond kindergarten. We have a profoundly immature society. And you can tell because every time you try to talk about a difficult issue, people have a hysterical meltdown about it. Like one of the takes I get the most shit for is that I have compassion for incels. And I understand their position. And I think that people should, that as older men, we should reach out to them and try to help them along when we encounter one. Try to help them along, even though some of their, try to get them unblackpilled. I think we have an obligation to do that. And I think it's a lack of male mentorship and a lack of male leadership has led to this, position. But broadly speaking, that's like the in the dominant narrative, that's like the dregs of society. That's like the lowest of the low you can be, is just a man that women don't find particularly attractive, I guess. Which is like, by the way, that's 99% of young men. A lot of these guys, I'm like, your life gets better when you turn 28. Like, shout out Nate, friend of the channel. I don't know, you're 20 something, but he was talking the other day. He literally is about to get his CDL and be a truck driver, and his salary is about to go way up. And he's about to travel a lot more, meet a lot of people. That kind of shit happens to you in your life, and then women like you more. That's what I've been saying. It's like normal. If you're 19 and girls don't like you, that's normal. Unless you're like a famous singer or you're like super hot or whatever. Like nobody gives, like if you're a 19-year-old guy, no one gives a shit about you unless you have a lot of talent, a lot of skill, or you're very good looking or something. If you have a lot of money, otherwise no one gives a shit about you. You have to like build skills over time like that. And then people are interested in you once you have skills. That's basically how it works. So that's like, you gotta have to like earn your way as a dude. But like, there's not, there's not a lot of guys modeling that. A lot of it's like a male, mentorship crisis right now. But like, according to like the dominant social narrative, like incels are like the worst people in the world, or they're just like garbage humans, and we should just like give them nothing but contempt or whatever. And I'm like, I don't think so. That's like very harsh for no reason. Yeah, this is an important point too, actually. Influencer lives are fake. 90% of what they show is rented for a few days. Yeah, that's true. The other thing too is that social media is, everyone's like advertising the best day of their life, basically. Or like they're trying to make everything look awesome and big on purpose. And they're like, woohoo, yeah, I'm awesome. Let's do this. Yeah, oh, look, I have a Lamborghini and I have all this shit. And it's like, and you're like, oh, why don't I have a Lamborghini? But like they fucking rented it. Like fucking Alpha Mega saying they fucking rented it. It's not their Lambo full time, Yeah, it's like, and so, or they're like on a boat that's rented, or they're taking pictures in a private jet that's rented. You can rent private jets to just take pictures in, by the way. You don't even have to go anywhere. So it's like all the shit is like fake and retarded. Like rappers aren't as rich as they say they are. They're certainly not now. That's always been a little bit true, but now it's like really true. It's all like fake on social media. It's all fake. It's all fake. So, but people don't know that. People believe that that's the reality. Most people take things at face value because they're retarded. You can just tell them something about yourself and they'll believe it. Like I have completely reconstructed my image multiple times in my life. And most people take things at face value, I promise. You can completely rebuild yourself and be a completely different person. You can do that. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like if you don't like the person you are, you can just try something else. You're not locked in at that. Like, be a Mulan, not an Elsa. Yeah, big time. Big time, guys. Be a fucking patriot who serves your country in a time of need and sacrifices for your family, not like a, narcissist. Anyway, 27. Yeah, Nate, your life's about to get a lot better. Next 3 years are going to be really good for you, especially as you gain skills and make more salary. Like I'm telling you guys, just thug it out. I would also recommend getting in the gym. Now's the time to do that. If you haven't done that already, get to the gym and learn how to, and maybe take some boxing, some jiu-jitsu, something, mix it up. Just challenge yourself physically as well, because you want to get in that habit now. Because if you don't, it's very much a don't you use it or lose it kind of deal with your physicality. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But that's like your life just gets so much better over that period. For men, that's when you kind of, now that's assuming you haven't been a total retard. If you've been a total retard, then what are you gonna do? But if you've actually been, If you've been doing what you're supposed to do in your 20s, which is trying out a bunch of different shit and then acquiring a bunch of different skills, and then your 30s, you should specialize. And then in your 40s, you make money. That's what I say. So we'll see how that works. I'm 34. So that's just what I think. But yeah, like I think not enough people are like telling young men that like shit just gets better over time. It just takes longer for you, especially because I think young women get so much attention and opportunity on like social media and dating apps and stuff like that, that like it's very easy to like feel like shit. All right, hold on guys. I have to go take care of the dogs. Don't go anywhere. I have to go do a dog thing. All right, what's up, everybody? All right. Let's see. Oh, LMAO, you might be one of the ugliest little dudes I ever seen. LMAO. All right. Well, nice to see you, Scotty. Thank you for the engagement. I appreciate you showing up in the Kick Chat. We don't really have a lot of people over the Kick Chat, so every Kick Chatter is appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and go over some of this. I wanted to go over this particularly retarded thing. Give me 1 second. This is not, I don't know how old these people are, but they look like, I'm just going to assume they're like, I'm just going to show you guys the thing. All right. And there we go. All right. So this is Minnesota's reenacting the raising of the flag at Iwo Jima to protest ICE, which is just... bunch of fucking retards. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, so that's what we're doing in Minnesota. Do you see what I'm saying about this? This is like a fundamentally unserious group of people. These are a bunch of like Disney brained adults who have their morality from cartoons and they don't have any larger moral system to root themselves in. This is just a bunch of like fiction brained horse shit for you to think that like what you're doing bears any comparison whatsoever to a battle that was fought in World War II is just insane and bizarre and narcissistic and delusional. Just delusional. Just like your life must be completely meaningless and you're just like desperate to have something, just to be able to say that you did something before you die. I truly think this is it. I think a lot of these people, I've said some of this before, but like Renee Good and Alex Preddy were both 37 when they died. And that's the age where you're just like, oh, wow, not only did I not accomplish any of my life goals and dreams, but it's likely that I never will. Oh, well, I guess I better, you know, do something to give my life some meaning. And so those people are very vulnerable to political radicalization. It seems like, so I've heard about Alex Brady. I don't know if this is true, but the narrative makes sense. So take it with a grain of salt. But I've heard that with him, he's obviously, I know that he'd recently separated from his wife somewhat recently, which is a huge bummer. But apparently that had to do with his like increasing political radicalism and him just like spending all his time on fucking Reddit. And he got so radicalized that he like quit his job and went to go be like an ICE rebel full time, which is just. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything sadder, really. I mean, that's just crazy. I guess if your wife leaves you, I guess you got nothing to lose. But like, because you're 37, your wife left you, no kids. Fuck it, just throw yourself at the wall, right? I guess just try to get shot. I don't know. Some of these people, and some of this is why I'm saying like the anxiety and depression thing, why I'm making such a big deal of that, is a lot of these people are miserable to the point that they do not care if they live or die. Like they're nihilistic. They don't see a future. They want to die as a martyr because of the amount of social capital that's going to give them with their peer group. That's crazy. That's great because you won't be around to enjoy the social capital, but they're like, hey, at least my life meant something. That's what I'm saying. These are people are true believers. And I think we should take that seriously. But it's just so hysterical and stupid. It's hard to take it seriously. But I think the shit will escalate. In their minds, they're fighting in a life or death struggle against an evil empire. And the thing about like Disney morality and like Harry Potter morality or whatever is the evil empire always loses. The good guys win because they are good, regardless of how much power or leverage they have. Remember that. That's a very compelling message, but it is not borne out in historical reality. In reality, the guy with the bigger dick usually wins. Like whether that's Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan had a crazy gangster say, I forget what it was, basically. We've talked about it on the show before, but he got to a village and it's like, you must have done something incredibly sinful for your gods to send me as your punishment. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's gangster. Fuck, man, that guy. Yeah, and it's like it's not good. It's not like Genghis Khan did not win over and over again because he was virtuous or good, because he was the good guy. Like he won over and over again because they were better at fighting and he had a big army and they had horses. And they were really good at using them. Like Napoleon did not win over and over again because of his superior virtue. He won because he was an incredible battle strategist. Like this is, yeah. So like this idea that like the good guys always win regardless of how much like power or leverage they have compared to the quote unquote evil empire is like deeply ingrained in the psyche of these people, but they're completely fiction brained. They're completely cartoon brained. And it's crazy. Like it's just not something, it's something I talk about all the time on my podcast. I do not want to approach this issue with like regular ass people because they're going to freak out. They're going to freak out. This isn't like something, this is what I'm talking about. We have a profoundly emotionally immature society. We just can't have like rational conversations about things that are really kind of like life or death for the future of the nation. Like whether or not we have borders is like a really important thing that we should agree on. And like, you can't get like, there's no way to get like halfway between like borders and no borders. That's not like, you know what I mean? Like you can't split the difference on that. It's like some borders, no, because they think, halfway between, first of all, halfway between crazy and normal is still crazy. And the crazy people, they don't want to be reasoned with. They don't want a partial victory. They don't want to compromise. They want everything their way or it's not even worth it. They don't even want to come to the table if they're not going to get everything their way. And that underpins how they think about stuff. You got to realize that. They want everything their way or nothing at all. Yeah. Anyway, folks, this has been a lot of fun. I got a couple more things that I might want to do, but I think I'm gonna start to wrap things up. It's been really rad hanging out with you guys. Remember, I am gonna be the next 2 weekends are gonna be busy for me. I'm gonna be at Chadwick's in Medford, Oregon, on the 6th and the 7th, and then on the 11th, I'm going down to Kill Seda Casino in Tulalip, Washington. I've never been there. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. It's an Indian word. So Tulalip is also an Indian word. Anyway, I'm going down to there on the 11th. So that'll be fun. And then I'm at Joker's in Richland, Washington on the 13th and the 14th. So that's Valentine's Day weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun. I would then right after that, I'm doing a winery in Walla Walla on Thursday the 19th. So I'm hoping some of you, if you have any Walla Walla fans, please come out. But yeah, honestly, that Valentine's Day weekend show is going to be a lot of fun. If you're in Medford, that 6th and 7th show is going to be rocking. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, so we'll make sure to check that out. Oh, we got some hope in the chat. May I suggest a white pill? Detransition are starting to sue hospitals. Yeah, I heard about that. That's fucking great. We need a white pill. Because honestly, dude, after the Epstein file drop, I don't even want to talk about that, man. Because I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say a bunch of shit that's going to get my channel suspended. Man, oh man, that's tough. So let's talk about something that's actually good. That's good. So somebody's actually filing a lawsuit for, and what's crazy is all of the stuff that we were assured was not happening. Minors weren't getting surgical transitions, minors weren't taking drugs, and minors weren't being groomed, and only real trans kids were becoming trans, and they were just living out there. All of that ended up being bullshit. It's just a big fucking cash grab, and there's a huge financial incentive for the pharmaceutical companies and for the hospitals to keep doing these procedures because they make a lot of money and insurance is required to pay for it. Thanks, Obama. So it makes a ton of money. That's why they're doing it, and they're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And then the people who go through these process have to take drugs and hormones for the rest of their life. And they probably also have to take psych meds as well. By the way, the fact that we transition anyone who is also taking psych meds is psychotic. Psychotic. It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, now we're finally actually receiving some accountability for that. There's another thing I wanted to get to. Let me see if I can find it. I wanted to show this. So one thing that has been happening is that Minnesota ICE protesters are getting tattoos that have symbols on them that denote that they are part of the resistance. And they're very Hunger Games-y. I tagged them, but then I tagged a bunch of Epstein shit that I don't want to use. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll scroll down for a bit. We'll see if I can find it. But yeah, it's that's interesting to me because there's a permanence to that. And I think people desire permanence in their lives. And the chaotic way that the current issue you're supposed to care about keeps changing without any logical consistency has to be disorienting. It has to be disorienting. Oh, another white pill. There are communist protesters with a megaphone outside of Zoran Mamdani's house. That's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting. Happy to see that. We don't need to do a whole segment on that, but that's what happens. That's what happened. It turns out if you make communists a bunch of promises and then you don't follow through on them, those same mentally unstable communist revolutionaries will eventually end up on your fucking doorstep. Which is, by the way, sort of the same thing that's happening with Tim Walz as he capitulates to Trump. That's just immediately the protesters were not psyched about that. They actually showed up at his house. So yeah, this is a whole fucking mess. And it's not obvious to me how you're supposed to calm people down after this. It really is not obvious to me. A lot of these people were wound up deliberately by propaganda, and speaking reasonably to them just does not seem to work because they're how can you blah, 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 blah. How can you when we're living under the literal Nazis? No way, it's in there somewhere. Yeah, but the fact that people got tattoos, I see that as a desire for permanence. I really do. That's I think that's a desire for permanence anyway. The desire for some kind of like overarching narrative that carries forward into the future. Because I think for all the people, the other thing too is it has this overwhelming effect of there's so many things you have to be upset about too. And you have to keep track of all the things. And it's like, but there's like an infinite amount of things to be upset about. You just choose what you think about. And this was crazy. Like I've had this conversation with leftists before where I've just been like, yeah, that, okay, let's say that your framing of reality is true and we're living in this terribly oppressive society. What would you have me do about it? What should I do? I can't do anything about it. So why should I think about it if I can't do anything about it? And of course they say, well, that's your privilege. And it's like, maybe so, but I'm going to use it. What would you have me do? If we're just like agreeing, and if we're agreeing, there's pretty much nothing I can do, then why can't I just, I also wanted to show this. This is kind of a different story, but this is we're changing gears a little bit. I forgot about this. Let me actually put this on the screen. There we go. This is an example. Some of you have seen this story. So this woman is, I want to say this happened like, I don't know, somewhere in Asia. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so she was out like skiing or whatever, and she saw a snow leopard, and she went to go take a selfie. Now, how do you think that went for her, chat? How would you guess that went for her? Now, remember, we live in a society where people have really lost touch with how dangerous nature is because, all the women who chose the bear over the random man, which, by the way, was like a staggering piece of how effective this propaganda has been. And if you look at this now, who knows a little bit about cat body language? Now, if you know a little bit about cat body language, you see the ears back, eyes are focused, and he's bringing up the feet he's scrunching up the feet up under the body. What's the purpose of that? This cat is about to pounce. Anyone who owns a house cat knows this pose. Like he's about to be on you. He's about to be on some shit. Okay. Anyway, again, it's not YouTube friendly to show the full everything, but we're going to selfie to her credit, like right before the pounce. Oh man, that is perfect pounce posture. Oh, horrible. And there it is on top of her eating her face. This is what I mean about people are not living in reality. People have lost their ability to assess risk. Snow leopard attacks are super rare. She got what she asked for. Yeah, very much. This is very much a situation of games meeting with prizes. Because in order to get attacked by a snow leopard, you have to be somewhere where snow leopards are, which means you have to be somewhere deep in the woods with deep snow. You got there on your own. You don't live there. Chinese food delivered even. For once in her life, the pussy ate her. Okay, that's the shame. Shame. Chad, I can't believe you're saying such things. That is not at all reflective of my own views. Anyway, this is very much a case of games meeting with prizes, right? But this is what I'm saying is that people have no concept of reality right now. I'm pretty sure that music is public domain, but I'm going to mute it anyway. And yeah, oh man, that's tough. You hate to see it. Her face is fucked, I bet. Oh, that's tough. Oh, fuck. So she was like way off the trail too. Oh man, that's brutal. Oh, that's brutal. Leopards are fucking awesome, though. Man. Leopards, friend of the channel. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, that sounds like Mandarin. Yeah. So I'm assuming I think it did happen in China. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is what happens when people live life through their phone. Like, bear in mind, it was not enough that she take a picture of the leopard. She had to take a picture of herself in front of the leopard. You've seen that meme where when a man takes a picture, it's of the thing. When a woman takes a picture, it's her face in front of the thing. Yeah. It's like men are the viewer and women are the subject. And that's even in terms of mentally how they understand themselves. Women think of themselves as objects that are acted upon, and men think of themselves as agentic actors. It's a little bit true. That's why women are always complaining about stuff and not taking accountability. It's because they view themselves as like being acted upon, not necessarily acting. Yep. Yep. All right. Oh man, that's rough. That's rough. There's this other one. I'll show you one more thing and then I'll hop off. Because I saw this and let's see, where did I put it? It's around here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, that's yep. That's annoying. Yeah. Bear with me, chat. Yeah, the amount of just insane retardation in the society we live in now is like crazy. It's weird. It's like it has to be deliberate. I'm starting to come to the conclusion that it is actually deliberate and that people are fucking with us on purpose. And I think the reason it is easier to lie to people who aren't in touch with the real world. So I think it's to the advantage of whoever it is that wants us to control us, that none of us have any experiences in real life and that everything is virtual or simulated. I think that's to their benefit. Like they really want it that way for whatever reason. So yeah, that sucks. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to regain the ability to like read long books and stuff like that. So my attention span is completely shot by short videos, just like everybody else. I mean, I'm not really better than anybody else. I'm just like telling you things I noticed about myself. So it's deeply challenging. It's a challenging thing. It's like, you don't know what to, I think what's crazy about it is actually, there we go. Actually, this is what I wanted to share. So do you guys remember where they were using Grok to like put women in bikinis and they said that was sexual assault? So then they were also starting this thing. Oh, wait, hold on. This is funny. Hold on. We got more comments. That Nat Geo theme going bonkers and yonkers. Yeah, for real. Can I get it? I can picture it Disney style animation. Got your nose. That's brutal. But that's the thing is like, these are people with like Disney brain. Like they literally do not understand how dangerous wild animals are. Women especially have this weird sense that they believe they can just tame any wild creature. I don't know why they believe that way. They just like have complete no connection with how dangerous wild animals are. And they believe that with the power of friendship, they could just tame everything. I don't know why. It's why women think raccoons are pets, by the way. And this is also why we let Somalians into the country. It's the same reasoning. The same instinct that tells women that they can turn a snow leopard into a house pet is the same instinct that tells us we should let Somalians into the country. So we're letting this impulse to just like let in dangerous predators into the house is, that's what we're allowing to get. That right there, that lady with the snow leopard at selfie, that is the spirit that's guiding American politics right now. Even though she's not American, that like illustrates it. That's that instinct we're talking about. Just completely detached from reality, no ability to assess threats, no ability to evaluate risk, which you see also in the Renee Good shooting and the Alex Pretty shooting to tie everything together. You have people who are completely fiction brained and have no ability to realize how much danger they're actually in. Yeah, I wish I had the wild, disconnected, uttered confidence of the average female. Yeah, dude, that would be fucking fantastic. But you'd end up in a lot of trouble. You just get in a lot of trouble, man. It's better to have like the cynicism of a man in his 30s, the cynical reality-based vision. Yeah, it's tough, but You got to deal with shit, man. Anyway, so they were using Grok to like take women's clothes off and put them in bikinis. And they were mad about that. So now, but then women were like posting and like putting themselves in bikinis using Grok, and that was annoying. So they started doing a thing where they're putting clothes on sex workers, which I thought was funny. And I just wanted to show you very briefly what the response to that was. Hold on, this is a Rolling Stone article. It's this woman, I guess, and it's like Rolling Stone. 4chan chuds used AI to clothe her. She fought back. God forbid women wear clothes. Dignif AI. Oh, Dignify. That's cool. A 4chan led campaign to put clothes on thoughts is just another way trolls are using AI to humiliate women by asking them to wear clothes. Like, please stop being a whore. What's crazy is like if 4chan is telling you to stop being a whore, society must be really degenerate. I don't know how many of you have like been on 4chan or like were on 4chan back in the day, but like holy shit, man, this is not what I would have predicted. But I think just like the oversaturation of the culture of online prostitutes. No, this is a real article, by the way. Yeah. And I think the incredible like and of course they're framing it like this is somehow sexual assault because as we all know, the most important human rights are for women to be able to murder their children in the womb and women to be naked in public. Those are the two most important rights that the Republic is founded on. And anything that interferes with that is truly evil. No thanks, average degenerate Judd. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's kind of where we're at right now. And I think a lot of people felt that way with like Chapel Roan and like the nipple rig dress. Most people were like, fuck, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure gay men think that's fucking fire or whatever. I bet it goes hard if you're gay. If you're like a gay fashionista or whatever, that probably goes hard. But like as like just a regular human, it's like, I'd rather not. But of course they were upset by that. And of course, the mainstream media has a vested interest in upholding as much cultural degeneracy as they possibly can because they just like want Western civilization to die. Like Disney braid plus persecution complex plus hero complex equals not so pretty. Yeah. All of these are important. It's just like this fictional narrative where morality boils down to just be nice to each other. Plus, the good guys win because they're good. No matter how powerful the quote unquote evil empire is, the good guys win because they're good, which is not at all how reality works. And then this false idea that you live in like an oppressive police state with no concept of what other countries are like. Like, where would you rather live exactly? Where would you rather live exactly? Like just no concept of history, no concept of what your ancestors went through to put you in that position. No concept of what your ancestors sacrificed to give you all the prosperity that you currently enjoy. Man, just horrible. And this narcissistic desire to, I'm going to be the one to save the day. I'm going to be the hero. This is downstream of like Disney propaganda and the complete absence of Christianity. Like I think a lot of people just like do not have any great overarching narrative that guides their life. And they don't have like the other thing too, is that they have some concept of original sin. They have white privilege, quote unquote. And the difference between like in the church, when I have sin every like month or so, couple weeks, every other week, or if I have a big one, I go to confession, I get the right. We talk about it. I do my penance and I dust myself off and I get back at it. With the left, there is no mechanism for forgiveness. You have original sin. You can never get rid of it. No matter how virtuous you are, no matter how pious you are, you will never wash off the marks of that sin. So you're always proving yourself. You're always having to pass more purity tests. You're always having to be more virtuous up to the point of like martyring yourself, I guess. It's crazy. No thanks, average degenerate chud. Yeah, it's like the fact that it's like people, I think the Whatever podcast did a lot to make people just like absolutely sick of online prostitutes. I think we're just like, it's gotta be crazy it's crazy to just be in a world that got so degenerate that people are like, can you please put your tits away? Thank you. I would rather look at this picture if it did not have your tits out, which is wild. And for them to like make that like a civil rights issue or like some kind of like indication of broader cultural misogyny is just peak retard. I don't even want to fucking hear it, man. I really don't. Don't even want to fucking hear it. That's crazy. Anyway, guys, it's been like a little over 2 hours that I've been doing this. It's been a lot of fun, but I am going to hop off. It's been rad. Please come back here. We're doing Monday and Wednesday this week instead of Tuesday, Thursday, because I got some scheduling conflicts I got to resolve on Tuesday, Thursday. But yeah, make sure to follow my social media so you can keep track of my stand-up schedule in case I'm going to be at a place near you. Our goal is to travel a lot more this year. And I'm traveling a lot. I'm going to a couple of new cities that I haven't been to this time, so that's going to be exciting. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, and please donate to Stream Elements tip jar if you feel so inclined. We are doing a collection for me to get a Candace Owens body pillow. That is happening, and it is going to be, we're looking at options right now, and it is going to be scandalous. And it is going to go in the background of this video. Every single show will be in the background. So if you donate to the Candace Owens body pillow fund, go and donate to the Stream Elements tip jar and put in the note somewhere that you want it to go to the body pillow fund. Link is in the description. Sign up for the Patreon. We're going to have a lot of stuff. We're working on stuff right now that's going to go on the Patreon, and it's going to be great. We're also thinking about some Patreon exclusive stuff. I'm thinking about doing a read through of Minotaur Milking Farm for the Patreon. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. That's obviously like copyrighted, so we can't put it on YouTube, but I'm going to do a read through of Minotaur Milking Farm maybe for the Patreon. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Yeah, it's been rad. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Oh, let's put close on the Candace Owens body. Yeah, dude, it's going to be scandalous. There's going to be some AI involved in that for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, no. The Candace Owens body pillow fund is going to be fun. So make sure to donate to that. We'll keep that going. And then I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Then we're going to be taking a break for a while, but we're going to be releasing some shorts onto the YouTube while I'm gone on my road trip. So you'll see me a little bit. Anyways, you guys take care. Please enjoy the intro to my other show is the outro to this show. Thank you very much.
Look good. This Johnson crack look good. Well, look at my crack. No. Look at that crack.
Are we looking at ours as cat now?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear a damn thing you said.
All right.
And because I was a gazillionaire and I like building so much, I cut that price for free.
The species is dying. The birth rate is plummeting. Women are chopped. But yeah, you know what? Get a fucking cat.
I know even more about grass.